Hey developers, today we're going to look at something a little bit different. We're going to look at Disney's Codeillusion. Now, something that's dear and near to my heart is teaching kids how to program. I've been teaching my daughter, Vivian, how to program. I've been teaching my son how to program, and you may have seen a few videos where I've done this. So this company actually reached out to me to review this product. It's actually a really amazing way to teach kids how to program. So we're gonna go through it. Vivian's gonna make some guest appearances and talk about the product herself. So make sure you stay and listen all the way to the end. And if you guys are interested in this product, I actually have a link in the description below where you can find it. It's Disney's Codeillusion. So yeah, let's go ahead and begin. So we received this box in the mail. I had Vivian go ahead and open it so you can see her tearing through it. While she's opening it, let me tell you guys a little bit about Disney's Codeillusion. Basically, it's an interactive, almost like an RPG game that teaches kids how to code. It has 125 different lessons, and you learn about game production, web design, media arts, and what I really like about it, it focuses on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, which are languages that I use every day at my job. So it's cool that my kids can learn this, especially Vivian. So it's definitely, I really think it's really the perfect program for anyone looking to see if they want to learn how to code or program or design. You know, I've actually used a few other tools to teach kids how to code, and I think this is probably the best I've used. And so it definitely takes a lot of complex subjects in coding. It makes it a little bit easier because it kind of gamifies it when you use it. And I'll show you guys here in a second how that works. So yeah, Vivian had a good time tearing this thing apart and opening it. So the package actually includes an actual book that you use when you play the game. At different parts of the game, it'll ask you to open up different parts of the book, and there's puzzles in it, and there's all sorts of cool things. So you can see here, it's a pretty hefty book. I believe once you buy this, you can buy it in different lessons that'll actually come in the mail for you. So yeah, you can see here it has Disney Technology, a School of Magic. And that's kind of the theme that you see throughout the game as you play it. You're actually like in this academy and you're learning to become a developer. And it has that kind of look and feel to it. So inside the book, it has a lot of these different envelopes. So let's listen to Vivi.
We have boxes. Do not open.
Yeah, those are different chapters in the
Until inserted. We have a lot of things.
So here is me and Vivi. We are trying out the game. So this is actually on the web. You don't have to have anything special to get here. Of course, you have to buy a subscription. And at the beginning of the game, it just kind of gives you some ideas of what you should do, some rules you need to keep in mind. Use erasable pens, because you are, throughout this game, you are taking out this book. You're looking at puzzles. There's stickers involved, and it kind of all interacts together at the same time. And we're going to see as we continue on that there's actually things like the actual Disney characters will appear, which are really neat. So one of the first things they ask you to do is actually to take the book that you got and sign your name in. So I went ahead and had Vivi sign her name in as an oath to learn magic. And it's kind of like an oath to actually learn how to program, which I thought was kind of neat. Life is Tech presents. Kindly a light soaring to the sky and setting an alarm clock.
Disney Technology School of Magic.
So the game actually begins with this kind of backstory about this academy that was created, that's a magic school, and that you are a new student in the school. So I think Vivian definitely was excited. It was kind of a neat beginning to the game. Kind of immerses you inside the world, and they have all these kind of still images, and you get to then start meeting some of the characters.
What a huge mistake. It kind of looks like a fox dog thing.
So you're a transfer student named Aikido, and Mimer is going to be your buddy throughout this adventure. He helps, kind of gives you hints along the way, kind of tells you what you need to do. And also when you're in the coding and programming, he helps you out again. You can see here, this is what the kind of the scenes look like. You're in this academy, so there's these different rooms that you're walking to. And then at some point, you actually will be doing, once they introduce all the characters, you'll be doing coding practices. After you've walked around a lot and gotten used to the academy, you're going to be introduced to this thing called the magic circle. And this is where you're going to be doing the lessons inside the game. Now, the first lesson of the game is the introduction. So depending on how well the student knows the computer, you may or may not want to do the introduction. So this is going to go over stuff like dragging and dropping, copying and pasting, how to type. So it's going to have a lot of basic introduction stuff that you should know how to use a computer. And actually, this was really helpful for Vivian because she's an okay typer, but she needs some practice. So this was a great practice to kind of just go over the things that you should know, because this game is a lot of typing once you actually get into the programming part, just like real programming. So it's this introduction was there. As you start completing more of the lessons in the Magic Circle, you'll start going through more of the storyline, and you'll start running into some familiar characters like Donald Duck and Goofy and Mickey Mouse, to name a few. And it's kind of cool that they were able to bring these characters in the game, and this storyline continues on. So it kind of gives you more incentive to complete the coding exercises. That way you can kind of move the story forward and see what other Disney characters are involved in the story, which is kind of neat. After you complete the introduction, you'll actually be into the next section, which is the media arts section, which is a way you can add colors, and you learn about fill, and you learn about objects and kind of how to move things around. So it's a very colorful section. I kind of like it because it actually got into a little bit of programming right away. So this is the first programming lesson in the course. And you can see here the way the Codeillusion editor works is on the left-hand pane, you actually have the display or what you see here. You can see here there's a circle. And then on the top right-hand corner, you have Mimer, and he's like your hint guide, and he'll give you ideas and hints on what you need to do. And then the lesson will be right there. Like this one is like, make the circle. And this one's a little bit more complicated. It's like, make the circle yellow. And it's asking you to make multiple circles and change the colors and kind of just do a bunch of little things. So this kind of gets you in the mindset of how to program. So I really like this. Plus it's colorful, and Vivian definitely like being able to create these shapes and see how they work. After you have a good idea of how to use shapes, the next section will be on using the mouse cursor. So this was kind of fun for Vivian. You're able to kind of have your mouse track where the circle appears. So there's all sorts of kind of fun lessons in this section about that. At the end of every section or book, there's actually a test that you take. And this test, you can have hints, but it kind of rolls up everything you learned in the previous lessons. So after we finished the media book, this was our final, and it was creating this Mickey Mouse ears, Mickey Mouse design using just shapes, and then we had to add a translucent background. So it was kind of a step-by-step process where over 3 or 4 sections we created this, and it was pretty neat. And I think it really helps help my daughter to understand like how to create these shapes, how to understand red, green, and blue colors, how you can attach like a mouse event to it, and it creates something pretty cool at the end. And so this was kind of like the final project that we created. After this section, we were finally rewarded to open the book. So we opened the book and actually gave us this key out of it. So it had we took the stickers out, and it had us paste it onto the sword marks. So it was kind of neat. It had the secret information that we're going to be using. So we didn't know exactly what it meant now, but I'm assuming later on in the game, we're going to be able to look at the card that we got and all the stickers and then unlock like a secret room or something like that. So we were really impressed by that. It kind of added a lot of game value, and it was pretty fun being able to finally take open the book and start going through it. So overall, I was really impressed by this game. It was fun. Vivian was learning how to code. It brought the Disney characters in that we all love. So yeah, it was pretty great. And I think I'm going to give Vivian the last word. She's going to do a little mini review for you guys. So here's Vivian.
Well, thank you, Daddy, for letting me do this. I really loved it. I really love that Aikido is kind of like bossy a little.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
And I like doing the lessons. I like helping. I like doing Mickey's. I like doing my the principals. So thank you for letting me do this.
You're welcome.